Okay, since I had no cameraman, I am it. Unveiled it to then realise it rained again last night and it got a little bit wet because I did not wrap it up the same. Probably things like that are the problem. It doesn't matter, I'll sort it out. What I like to allow for is wastage. Inches, we have a total of 58 and a half. Let's round it off to 58. 58 inches, regardless of which end that we go off. I like to allow for at least 1 inch either end of wastage because of the possibility of imperfections, and you can always shuffle it. So in terms of inches, 23, there's 20 inches there. Does this mean that we could be better off perhaps cutting this into 3 1/3 increments of 58, 20 inches goes to there, 20 inches, 20 inches, and of course almost near 60, of course we'll leave this slightly less. Could we be better off in sending this to you in 3 segments of 20 inches in 2 parts, which would reduce the cost and the postage at all, to then possibly get the best outcome? We'll have to do the math on this, but the total is 58 inches, 58 and a half. Forget the half, 58 inches. Because obviously we've got some, flaws at either end. So we're talking a clean 58 inches divided by what we need it to be. And I was talking about length. It's 22 inch, 20. No, you're kind of right doing the math on this in terms of a bass drum. I always like to allow for some error, and we only really need like 1 good bass drum, 1 good floor tom, and however many toms and as many snares as you can make in terms of the dollar versus the success of everything. That could it be better to allow for wastage and error? The best is in the center. This is the key point in terms of its flaws over storage of time. The best is the middle section. So if I was to do anything, I would really like to keep the middle section at least like 600 mil, like 23 inch, and then with that then allow for enough snares and toms to like cut that to a large section in the middle, cut that in half. It still comes down to halves though, if that is the case. In terms of like this, like making it in 6 sections and sending it in half, rather than cutting it down the guts in the middle, cutting it here, which of course 28 inch and 28 inch, which leaves you with weird thirds in terms of its development. Doesn't give you enough. But if I was to cut it into thirds, like a large section of the best part, which is the center, to make forth the in 2 large chunks. So I think maybe could be the alternative. Break it into 6 pieces, would give you the largest sections to make a floor drum and a floor tom. And then obviously the rest of the sections are an overkill though for the rest. So maybe would it be better to have it as 2 large sections and then a smaller section for snares, because snares aren't so deep. But it's still overkill. She's a big piece, isn't she? 58 inches is what we have to play with. Like video long, we've got a 58 inch piece. How do we divide this correctly? Like 6 sections would definitely mean that weight wise we can mail it. That's not an issue. That sees us out a win. I'm thinking that maybe that's the way to go. Slice it right up the center and make 6 even thirds, and then given the quality of what we have, gives you the best choice to get the best sections to be able to do anything you want to do with it. Anyway, give me your feedback on this. But, that's the deal.